Back during the Greek times, Sisyphus, also known as the King of Corinth, and as a bit of a sociopathic jerk, was in a bit of a pickle. Zeus, the king of the gods and the husband of Hera, was sending him to the underworld, where he would be chained for eternity. To understand how Sisyphus got into this mess in the first place, we have to go back in time a little. Zeus is the king of the gods and also the wife of Hera, who is the goddess of marriage and Zeus's sister. Zeus was what some people would call a philanderer. This means that he would sometimes kidnap women, which is exactly what he did to Aegina, daughter to the river god Asphus. Asphus, understandably panicked, ran to Sisyphus for direction to find his daughter, as Sisyphus had witnessed the kidnapping and had done nothing. Sisyphus agreed to give directions and in return asked for the god to create a fresh water spring in the center of Corinth. Zeus was furious. He had Thanatos, god of death, throw and chain Sisyphus in the underworld. And yes, this was because he got in the way of Zeus's affair, even though Zeus was technically cheating on his wife. The Greek god justice system, everyone. Anyways, Sisyphus, who was a very cunning man, had a plan to escape. When they got to the underworld, Sisyphus asked Thanatos how the chains worked. Thanatos, delighted that someone was interested in how chains worked, told him exactly how they worked. This is what happened next. So, as you can see... Hey, wait, what? Wait a minute. Sisyphus had just outsmarted a god. Now he could go home and live a happy life. But wait, there's one problem with death being chained. No one dies. And this brought upon the attention of a god who loves people dying. Ares. Ares, if you didn't know, is the god of war, which is why he loves people dying. Eventually, he began to look for Thanatos, tired that wars were no longer fun to watch. This is what he expected to happen. Hey Thanatos, can you please start taking lives again? Because wars are just not fun to watch anymore. Sure, I mean, I'm on vacation, but whatevs. Anything to make you happy. Yay! This is what really happened. Uh, Thanatos? What happened to you? I was chained. You're a freaking god, for God's sake. Just break out. Oh, yeah! Thanks to Ares, Death was now free once more, and he had a score to settle with Sisyphus. But Sisyphus had another plan. Before he died, he asked his wife, who also happened to be his niece, which is nice, not to give him the proper burial rites. When he made it to the underworld, Sisyphus was placed before Hades, king of the underworld, and Persephone, his queen. Sisyphus told them how his wife had disrespected him by not giving the proper burial rites and asked them if he could go back to the living to scold his wife. With the support of kind-hearted Persephone, Hades eventually gave in. Sisyphus promised to return after he had scolded his wife, but of course, he had his fingers crossed the entire time. This plan, despite what you may think, was perfect. Since Thanatos had to work 2 times as hard for the death that he was not able to reap during his time being chained, Hades was having a lot of trouble in the underworld. Because of all of this extra work, Hades eventually forgot about Sisyphus. That, of course, only lasted until he remembered and sent Thanatos after Sisyphus once more. But this time, Sisyphus was trapped. For being naive and thinking that he was smarter than the gods, Sisyphus was sent to eternal punishment. As punishment, Sisyphus had to push a boulder up a hill, but every single time he got close enough to the top, the boulder would roll down Some adaptations of the story say that Sisyphus was promised to go back to the land of the living if he had pushed the boulder to the top. Of course, this entire thing was rigged, so he never gets it to the top. There are many things that we can learn from Sisyphus. For me, the most important thing that I learned was that never marry your family, no matter how much you think everyone hates you.